Hello, my name is Ethan and welcome back to another episode of Path of Exile Ultimatum League 3.14. In this episode, I'm going to be showing you guys why you don't need to use or shouldn't use Anomalous Impale support. I have all the math, all the calculations, I have a spreadsheet with all the information, I have all the comparisons from the 3 different gems you could use for Impale support. I show you how to get 100% Impale without Anomalous Impale support, and you're wondering, what's Anomalous Impale support, Ethan? I got you. Here we go. This is Anomalous Impale support, so it's an alt quality version of Impale support that has supported attacks with 20% quality, 10% chance to impale enemies on hit. So we were using this to get to 100% chance to impale, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how you can use regular impale or the divergent impale, which is more rare and harder to get, and I'll explain it further after. But yeah, and then to show you the weightings, it's 50 weighting for the regular, 100 weighting for anomalous. So anomalous was actually very common and cheap, and now we're talking about this more rare one. But either way, I'm going to be switching to a flashbang, so be warned in 5, 4, 3, 2, oh shit, here we go. Alright, here we have my really complicated spreadsheet. It might look like a lot. I want to start off very simple. Imagine you have anomalous impale support, so you're using it to get to your 100% chance to impale. Let me just get a dark screen on the other. Okay, there we go. Because this is already bright. Let's assume you have a 100% impale chance. Because you did your anomalous impale, you got a 100% chance to impale. You have 5 max impale stacks. And so the base reflect damage is 40%. This is 10% per stack, but it doesn't actually count. Like, when you hit the 5th hit, it doesn't count that it has 5 stacks of impale because it's that hit. So it only counts the base as 4, which is 4 times 10%. And so, because 10% of your physical damage is reflect damage, which is called impale. So you get, 40%. So this is like saying 40% of your physical damage as impale or reflect damage. And then it's improved, it's increased by your impale effect. So our increased impale effect is 109%. So we have 2.09 impale. So with the 40% base and the 2.09 impale, we get 83.6% of our physical damage would be our impale damage. So instead of 40%, it gets increased by the impale effect, which makes sense once you understand it this way and you put it like this. It's really nice. So then you could even say, well, with no increased impale effect, you just get 40% of your physical damage would be our impale damage. That makes sense. That's really cool. That's easy. Nice. Now, how is regular impale support? How good is it? 10% increased impale from the quality on regular impale support. And then we have to assume 100% chance to impale. And you're like, but Ethan, I'm missing the 10%. No. You're still going to get 100%. This is my point. 5 max impale stacks. The base reflect is still 40. But our increased impale effect would be 119% instead of 109. You get the 10% increased. And so we'd have 2.19 impale. And then so it's 40% times 2.19, and this is where you notice 87.6% of our physical damage would be our impale damage, and you notice this is 4% more, like over the other one. So therefore, regular impale support is 4% of our physical damage would be our impale damage, because 10% of 40, because the base is 40, and it is 10% increased of the base. So it didn't even matter about what your other increased effect is. It just matters about the base and the increased impale effect. So it's always 4 unless the base is different. So in conclusion, I took 4% of 83.6 and we get 4.784689% more impale damage than anomalous impale support. And then I wrote down here, 10% increased impale effect is always 4% if the base reflect damage is 40% from hitting the 5th hit. Hitting 5 stacks. Okay. Now, this gets a little complicated, so bear with me, alright? I'll try my best here. But basically, divergent impale support is special. It has a 5% chance to give additional impale. And additional impale the way I understand it is that imagine I hit and I did an impale, so they'd have 1. I have a 5% chance I could get 2 in that 1 hit, which is crazy because it stacks that way, and then you could get 6 max impale stacks. So this is assuming 100% impale, 6 max impale stacks, so best case scenario, 5%. The base reflect then is 50%. It goes up by 10, the base, because the max is higher. Like now on the 6th hit, you're hitting 50 base reflect. So then our increased impale effect is still 109%. It doesn't have the 10% increase from regular. This is you're giving up 10% increased impale for 5% additional impale. And so it's 50 base times 2.09, which can be 104.5% of our physical damage would be our impale damage. This is 20.9% physical as impale damage over the 5 impale stacks. This is 25% more impale than 5 stacks, because you see 104.5 compared to 87, and then the other one is it's 50 compared to 40. Literally, it's the base reflect damage being improved by 10%. It's relative. 10 of 40 is 25%. It's pretty crazy if this, wow. The only big question now is, does this increase our impale damage for 6 hits instead of 1? Because it's 5% for 1 additional impale, but then does it affect 6 hits? So first I assumed, let's say it's 1 hit, so 5%, 1 in 20, 5%, 5% impale of the 20.9% is only 1.045% physical as impale. But if it's 6 hits, then, and 5 of 100 is 1 in 20, but it's 6 hits, it's 6 in 20, so 30%. I took 30% of the 25%, so we could get 75% more than regular anomalous impale, for example, without the increased or without the additional. And then I took the 30% of the 20.9% physical as impale, and I got 6.27% of our physical damage would be our impale damage. So both of these numbers are higher than the regular impale if it does affect for 6 hits, which I think that makes sense, because or at least 5, which then it's similar. So both of these are really good. This is the conclusion of the no matter what, both are better than anomalous impale, because more impale effect, more impale damage, more physical as impale, and it's unclear exactly, but I doubt it's only going to affect 1 hit, and this is worst case scenario is 1% physical as impale, and it only gets better, and it can go all the way up as effective as this, which is really cool. So, final conclusion, don't use anomalous impale support to get your impale chance. Both regular and divergent impale gives more impale damage. I would rather get my other impale chance through Dread Banner, Aura Effect, and Rotting Claws. So then I wrote here, I actually got my extra impale chance to make up for the missing anomalous impale support from a Redeemer chestplate suffix modifier for 25% increased effect of non-curse auras from your skills. A helm enchant for Dread Banner has 40% increased aura effect. So I got like 65% increased effect of fucking Dread Banner. And then a level 5 Awaken Generosity. Big dick final tip. This is for people who are rich. So a 2020 support is fine, and the 2020 Dread Banner is fine, and you could do a 2020 Divergent Impale support, and 2020 Dread Banner, normal, don't use the Divergent, same thing, you want increased effect of the aura instead of chance to impale, and when you want to upgrade, you can get a 2120 Impale support, because a 2120 Impale support gives 1% additional, more physical damage. The reason I wrote it like this is because it's 1% more physical damage, like it goes from 15 to 16, but I didn't want to say it in the way that it's more, it's just one more on what it had, like 15 to 16. I think writing it like this is correct, over the 2020, and it has 2% increased impale effect. So if I showed that 10% increased impale effect is 4%, it's like 0.8%. 0.8% of our physical, so it's almost 1% fizz as impale off of 2%. 2%. That's crazy. And 1% additional more physical damage. That's crazy. Just for getting a 2120 of the impale. And then when you upgrade a 2120 dread banner, you also get another 1% increased impale effect, and nearby enemies have 1% less accuracy rating. It's a new threshold, and so this gets scaled by aura effect. So let's say you had 100% aura effect, this would give you 2 impale effect, and then that's like as good as the upgrading the impale support. So it's just like, yeah, extra bonus. And technically a 2123 version of the regular impale support would give you 22 quality would give you extra 1% increased impale effect. And getting a 23 quality version of divergent impale support is useless because you won't get the 6% from this. You would need to get like 20% of this, so it doesn't help. Like, yeah, you would need 20, so you would need, yeah, either way. The point is, don't use anomalous impale support for your chance to impale, and then you can get bigger impales, and then when you're actually impaling all the time, then your impale is more. And since we're doing it all the time and we're building around impale, I highly recommend completely juicing your impale as much as possible. Either way, I hope this helped people who were wondering and curious about anomalous impale support. And now I bet a ton of people won't be using this, and they'll be using alternative methods that I've mentioned here to go for their 100% chance to impale, and now they're going to feel the power of impale. Either way, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to take this opportunity to thank my Patreon, my YouTube members who financially support the channel. I can't do this without you guys, so thank you guys for all the support. And thank you to anyone new who joins the Patreon or the YouTube members today. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye!